Close your eyes for a minute, close your eyes for a second. I won't change my mind.
Hi Posh fam, welcome to my channel Poshcateyes Unfiltered, coming to you in part from the Valley Ridge Reserve somewhere in Mount Waverly. I decided to take my daughter out today and she is not loving it.
Yeah, because the snake's living here.
Alright, so we're going to be talking all things The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think The Real Housewives of Potomac has gone on hiatus. So until the return, we might recap the Married to Medicine new season that is on at this moment, because I haven't been able to have the time to recap that or even watch it. So we'll see how we go with that commentary depending on when The Real Housewife of Potomac comes back to our screen. Now, before I get way ahead of myself with this conversation, let's do some housekeeping, guys. Again, thank you so much to my subscribers. Thank you for coming on board the Posh Farm train. We call ourselves Posh Farm here. Go through my playlist. Tell me what you like. It's a beautiful view. Yes, and for my existing subbies, again, I appreciate your show of support. We're going into 2024 strong, and I hope to bring you more content that are more personal to me. I might be thinking about opening a new channel, but I don't know. We'll see how that progresses. With that said, let's get into the talking point that was The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So I'm going to be tagging this particular episode. Don't laugh, guys. I will be tagging this particular episode Taco Tuesday meets OnlyFans. Now, you're going to understand why I say this, because Denise Richard gets a little bit of flack for having to be on OnlyFans. Not the fact that she's on OnlyFans, it's the fact that she is allowing her subscribers pay $7 to view her nude pictures. It is quite weird, and that's the funny thing. Get this, guys, her daughter is on OnlyFans as well, and we're going to be talking about what led to this whole OnlyFans brouhaha at Crystal's Tacos Tuesdays event. Now, this event was the main event for this particular episode, and a lot of the talking points will be coming from here, and you're going to see why I have said this or tagged this as it is. But wait a minute, I'm going to have you watch this particular 3-4 seconds video, and this is the reason why I do not eat at people's houses outside having the dogs lick on the cutlery's plate and what have you not. There is now your spouse eating or using the fork that you are using to dice the meat that other people are going to eat. It is just not for me. Just take a look. So here we can see Crystal having her hubby try the steak. She's about to serve her guest, and just, did you get the fact that the same fork he put in his mouth was the same fork she used to go on and dish out this particular steak? Ew. Now, hygiene, guys, hygiene 101. This is what not to do when you're entertaining guests, because you could get food poisoning from this. I'm putting it out there. There's coronavirus, that too. Anyway, judge me not. It's my view. Let's continue first with Sutton. Sutton finally has gone on a first blind date with some guy called Sal from the matchmaking agency that was, showed previously or prior at the beginning of the series. Now, it's safe to say I am with Sutton on this one to not have a second date, because this guy could not stop talking about his 88-year-old mom. Now, guys, I have got nothing against moms. Okay, guys, I'm watching out for snakes. It's Australia, guys. They can pop up any minute, anywhere. So, I am not one to, give anyone flack for how they carry themselves when they are on dates or in public. But this guy took it to a whole other level. The moment he sat down, which, by the way, he was a very nice gentleman about it. The moment he sat down, he could not stop talking about his mom. It appears the mom actually sent him on this date. I'm like, this is giving me weird vibes. Are you on a date with your mom, or you cannot let go of your mom's apron string? What's going on here? Sal is in his mid 60s, if not early 70s. And dude, there's the reason why you're still single. And that's all there is to say. I felt for Sutton, the fact that she was able to see through this guy's BS, thumbs up to her. Because I would not. 5 minutes in, I'll be like, check please, I'm out the door. But I guess for Sutton, the journey to finding true love continues. Now the scene cuts to Kyle hosting the ladies, particularly Anne-Marie and Dorit, for a Jewish festivity. She always has food in display. Now, of course, this is against the backdrop of Sutton's event and all of the brouhaha surrounding Sutton's esophagus illness or lack thereof. Now, it appears again these women are still going to talk about it. Dorit and Anne-Marie seem to be enjoying the fact that, or Dorit and Kyle seem to be enjoying the fact that Anne-Marie decided to put Sutton on a hot seat by trying to figure out exactly what is going on with her esophagus issue and why she is having difficulty chewing her food or eating, period. Well, this particular conversation moved on to Kyle telling the lady she is hosting a show, a movie show, or producing a movie show or something. Again, guess where we're going to be heading at? There is a slight deviation, or there's a slight issue with regards to Dorit and Kyle's friendship, and this is where it begins to, the cracks begins to appear. Kyle sort of mentioned she had had a tattoo done, and Dorit is like, wow, you never told me, and it's kind of strange that you tell me everything and you didn't tell me this one. Kyle said, well, that's not just the crux of the issue. I also tattooed my name on Morgan's hand or Morgan's body, to which Dorit saw red. And it is quite clear that Dorit isn't happy about the fact that she is no longer considered a close friendship or close confidant to Kyle. Rather, Morgan is now in fact taking her place. It was clear because she actually made it very obvious to Kyle that she is feeling some type of way. That Morgan, who she's only known 1 year, or 2 years, is now the main person in her life where she speaks or now her speaking highly of. Well, behind the scene, we hear Kyle saying the reason why she has sort of had a cool off a period between her friendship with Dorit, and that's to the situation with regards to Katy. Now, we all know what happened last season where Katy was accused of maligning Kyle and just embarrassing her and making her feel less of herself or feel less worthy, yada, yada, yada. And, well, safe to say that Dorit didn't really support Kyle in this, and Kyle has held a grudge ever since. So Kyle's situation is, well, you made me feel some type of way, you did not support me, and so for that reason I have decided to take a break from you and not share a lot when it comes to what I do and what I'm about. And I'm like, wow, this is getting a little bit messy here. Well, again, this particular conversation will continue on the Ride to Tacos Tuesdays Crystal's event. We're going to get to Garcel's and Erica's blossoming friendship. My God, this particular episode highlighted how they have sort of rekindled their relationship and slowly, just getting to know each other again, because it has been a little bit toxic between these two. It started off great, and then things just went downhill. And I can say in parts to the fact that Erica was going through a lot 2 or 3 years ago with all of the indictments and accusations surrounding her ex-husband's legal firm and all of those money that were allegedly embezzled. And we see here Garcel and Erica having a night out in town, and guess who was a surprise guest? Sutton, of course. But before we get to that, we see these two ladies just express themselves. Erica is talking about the fact that her residency is taking hold. She's getting prepared, and she is so happy about this particular second chance, and she is taking it all in. Garcel showed a little bit of support. In fact, support for Erica's strength, and I would give it up to this woman. her strength and resilience is something that we should emulate. If you have watched this show 3 seasons before the season, you would understand why I am saying this. Well, Sutton came in and yeah, it was a drink fest. These women had a good time, and like I said, it was not a dull moment. We did get to find out that Sutton made out with her driver. Ugh. I'm not sure how that goes. Like, Sutton, you've got all this money, and of all the people is your domestic staff. Talk about going low. It was a light-hearted conversation, but again, this particular information went into the main event, which was the Taco Tuesday night. Now, they brought up the issue with regards to Denise and Erica was like, the girl came for me. I wasn't really in the place to respond the way I would have liked. She poured rain on my highness, but again, I did apologize for what I did not know I did. And Garcel did say she had a word with her. She was able to articulate what she meant, if there was an articulation, because I still don't know what Denise meant. And yeah, Erica was like, well, guys, do you know that Denise is on OnlyFans, and you can get to see a bundle of her for $7, and the ladies just cracked it. Again, guys, take note, because this particular scene also made its way to the main event, and we're gonna get into that particular talking point. On the drive to Krista's residence for Taco Tuesday, Dorit and Carl had a moment where, again, it was expressed by Dorit how she was feeling about the newfound friendship with Morgan. Again, this is where I think the whole mood got derailed for Dorit, because the events that happened afterwards kind of showed that Dorit was not herself going into this particular event, and she was a little bit in a state of mind where she was just, I would use the word, upset. And with every conversation that she had, there was an altercation following suit. Carl didn't make light of the fact that she is now very good friends with Morgan, and Dorit is like, okay, maybe I have to tattoo your name to show you, or to be part of what I'm like, are we fighting for friendship now? This is ridiculous. Girl, just stop. And meanwhile, on the ride to the same Taco Tuesday event, Garcel and Denise were, in the same car, and they had to talk about the situation with regards to Erica. Garcel kind of prepped her up to say, well, I have given Erica the heads up, and she's expecting you to, be a little bit more open, throw more insight as to why you were feeling the way you felt at the weed dinner. And so Denise is like, well, I'm going to try my best. Well, girl, please try your best and be articulate. Meanwhile, Sutton is busy subscribing to Denise's OnlyFans account. These women are so messy. Now, the guests are arriving. Dorit and Carl got there first. There was this other lady that was Crystal's friend who brought up the Las Vegas show. Apparently, she probably heard word of what went down at the situation and wanted to find out who wasn't happy with what she saw. And of course, Dorit had to throw Sutton under the bus and kind of preempted this particular lady to stir the pot by asking Sutton why she felt the way she felt with regards to, remember, she was upset. She didn't like why they were there. She didn't like the fact that she was a ballet president of America, and she didn't want to be caught in some type of compromising situation. And so Dorit wanted this particular lady to push, again, stir the pot, if you will. And this is exactly what this particular lady did. Even though at first she was nervous or hesitant too, she did exactly that, and we will get to that particular situation. The other ladies arrived, and pretty much cocktail was served. It was a little bit cold. They wanted it to be an outdoor event, but then it ended up being an indoor event. When Sutton arrived, they sort of laughed at her outfit, which was sort of out of place. It didn't matter. And the last to arrive again is Kim. Now, like I said before, when Katy is, the way Carl uses her sisters for the limelight is pretty sad. on one, if Kati is there, Kim isn't, and if Kim is there, Kati isn't. She is just, I really don't understand. And I feel like if the sisters don't get to see it for what it is, then the joke is on them, literally. Trying to unpack this particular taco dinner versus only farm, you know, ad or promotional event. Okay, it went from Dorit to Sutton, Garcel and Dorit, Erica and Denise, Dorit storming off. There was just a lot to unpack, and let's just break it down. Now, when Sutton walked in, she was greeted by Dorit, and might I add, Denise also said hello to Dorit and tried to correct the reason why she had her, or attribute the reason why she had her jacket upside down or downside up, was the fact that she had some fever or high fever going. And who else bought that? Not me one bit. Like, that's the thing, Denise, just let that part go. It happened. There was a slip up and we're fine. We're not going to crucify you for it. But you coming to mansplain yourself on this particular night just wasn't cutting it. It showed actually you were lying. Okay? And so Erica was, you know, letting Dorit in on the fantastic night the ladies had with Garcel and Sutton, or she had with Garcel and Sutton, and also saying, and they talked about the fact that Sutton made out with her driver. And, you know, it was a laughable moment. It was a laughable moment. But this is where Dorit decided to embarrass Sutton by having the same conversation again when the girls were all seated after dinner. So she said to Sutton, yeah, so tell us how you made out with your driver. How are we just finding out now? Why did you make out with your driver? And that really got Sutton ticked off. She was like, why are you talking about this? This was a conversation that, you know, it's not meant for public consumption. Yes, it happened, and she should stop trying to paint me out as some deviant or some unlady, or, you know, it was just, again, crassless of Dorit as well as of Sutton. But that's beside the point. It was more like a laughable moment between these ladies during the a night out they had, and it was fun. But Dorit is now like making it to be like, oh my God, you're embarrassed. You're an embarrassment to be having that inappropriate conversation or inappropriate relations with your driver. And this just started. In fact, this particular scene kicked off, and the whole night went from being upbeat and very high tempo to just being downright somber. And it just progressed from there, because I think this is where Garcel was like, why are you talking about it? You shouldn't bring it up. And Dorit was like, you can't make me not talk about it. And it just went crazy from here. I would say this though, Dorit was already feeling some type of way, given the fact that she is feeling abandoned by Carl, who is now establishing friendship with Morgan. So she is definitely on the defense and on the attack. And so every little conversation leads to some sort of an argument, some sort of you're against me. Like, for example, Sutton said, or rather, she is claiming that particular case was more like an accidental case. And we're going to leave it at that because it wasn't caught on camera. And it's now more like he said, she said, she said. And with Dorit trying to make it like one big deal, it just, again, it's unnecessary. And then you also hear her talking to Garcel about the fact that Crystal is drumming up stories with regards to the fact that, Dorit, you said Sutton has a drinking problem. You said Sutton drinks alcohol in her coffee cups. And so Crystal relayed that message to her friend. You're not expecting that to not go or fly under the radar. You're expecting that to fly under the radar. That's not going to work. Because, again, you said it with intentions. And that message would be delivered to who it's meant for and the recipient. It might not be well received, but that's on you because you said it. And then Sutton was telling us about her horse, obviously, Santos. He now has a new home, I guess. And I think this was where the particular girl who had issues with the Magic Mike situation decided to, put Sutton on the hot seat, trying to find out why she did not take kindly or why she took offense to the Magic Mike show. And Sutton was like, well, I'm entitled to feel the way I feel. And the fact that there were legs spread left, right, and center was not appealing to me. And I walked off. And I apologized if it offended anyone. But for me, she said she felt some type of way, and good on her for doing what's best for her. And that sort of shut this particular lady down. And she was like, so who asked you to ask me this? And she was like, oh, some of the ladies said someone did not find the event appealing, or found the event a little bit too much to handle, and I felt like I should ask you. That was, again, we all know it was Dorit that asked this lady to embarrass Sutton the way she would make it out to be, like she was, unkind to event that seemingly is inappropriate or appears to show a lot more nudity. That's the only way I can put this, and that's the best description I can give at this point. So as the conversation sort of winded down, Sutton wanted to know how this woman came about this particular information, because this particular Las Vegas event happened weeks prior. She wasn't there. The show hasn't aired. So how are you in on the conversation? To which she said some ladies were saying it, and I felt the need to find out why you felt the way you felt. I think Dorit knew what she has started. She pretty much stirred the pot, so she came and said, oh yeah, I did tell her to ask you. And Sutton was like, why will you do that? It's not in none of your business to question how the way I felt. And then she brought about the fact that, well, you had dollars to spray and you didn't. And again, can we move on from this? To which Dorit, observing that the conversation was getting away from her, she decided to obviously mock Sutton by bringing up the situation with regards to her kissing her driver. And this is where Garcel chimed in and said, hang on a minute, like, you're trying to embarrass Sutton here with the information that I divulged. In a light-hearted moment, we had a laugh about it at a drink out, and here you are using it as a way to mock her and sort of subdue her and overcome her in a conversation that you are obviously losing. To which Dorit was like, no, that's not the intention. And Garcel said, well, that's the intention. And Dorit replied back and said, well, when Erica just brought it up just now, you didn't say Erica was saying it in jest, or Erica was saying it in a way to embarrass Sutton. And Garcel was like, absolutely. Erica said it in a fun way. It's not in a way to embarrass Sutton in front of these strangers that she is just meeting for the first time. And Dorit replied, well, we are all having fun. And Garcel said, absolutely not. We are not having fun when you are trying to get ahead of a conversation or an argument by attacking or by making Sutton feel or look a certain way to women who are seemingly perceiving her of high value and high standard. Now, kissing her driver or making out with her driver is not a crime. She can do what she wants to do. She's an adult here. And I think this is where the whole scene sort of just went left, because at some point Dorit felt Garcel was attacking her. She actually said that, I feel like you're attacking me. And Garcel was like, hang on a minute, I am not attacking you. And they went back and forth with the whole attacking situation. And the next thing Garcel said was, I just came with your white privilege, or with your privilege. And Dorit was like wanting to know what she meant by using the word privilege. And Erica chimed in and said, you're white. When you use some words in a manner that is provocative to a black woman, it is perceived very damaging. It is disparaging and damaging for you to say that Garcel is attacking you, Dorit. And I was shocked that Erica, with so much insight, would stand up for Garcel. And oftentimes these women come for Garcel. She just never responds. But this time that she stood up for herself, it was quite a moment.
We were having a conversation.
Okay, but it felt like you were suggesting that I was deliberately trying to hurt her.
I wasn't
embarrass her.
suggesting, I actually said it.
Exactly.
Right, but that's not an attack.
It feels
There's a different thing than an attack.
Garcel. Okay,
No,
I don't mean
listen.
attack. What's a good word?
I don't know what's a
better
good word, but I feel like for you and your privilege, I can't.
What does that mean?
It means you're white and she and the words are different. They have different connotations, they have different meanings.
Okay, the word of attack has a different meaning when it comes from a white woman to a black woman. It just does. I don't think Dorit meant to hurt Garcel, but it does hurt Garcel.
And I was so proud of her. Garcel went on to say, well, I'm done with you. I've had enough of your comments, like the way you make disparaging comments, very provocative comments. And Dorit is feigning again ignorance, and this is quite sad. Dorit, you're in America. You understand how disparaging, how the Black Lives Matter seemingly goes with the stereotype. The black women have been marginalized with just comments, being called aggressive, attacking. Imagine if people are in, not knowing what's going on, hear you say, I am being attacked. What would you think a bystander would perceive a black woman and a white woman, with the white woman saying she's been attacked? And this is exactly what Erica was trying to say to her. You don't understand that your words in a certain manner, in a certain scene, it kind of just, it's not the same. It's just not the same. And Garcel, and I think this kind of sunk a little big on Dorit. So she was like, she kind of, took it back and tried to pedal back a little bit by apologizing and wanting Garcel to educate her, to which Garcel said, I'm not here to educate you, you go educate yourself. I was like, oh my God, what a comeback. And that is so true. Garcel, Dorit, if at this age you feel like you need to be educated on race and how comments with regards to the black race and the stereotypical narrative affects black women, if you don't know by now, then I don't think you would ever know. I think this was, and again, the room was silent. There was, you could understand this was a deep conversation. There was a bit of awkwardness around everyone, and no one said anything. They just kept quiet. And I think the next thing was Dorit tried to apologize, and it just didn't hit well for Garcel. Garcel was like, I'm not feeling you, girl, not right now. Good on you, go educate yourself, fall back, just give me some space, basically. I think Dorit got the message, and before you knew what was happening, she bolted out of this particular taco dinner. Yeah, and I think it was the right thing to do. Dorit, you go home, probably have a minute to yourself and figure out ways to communicate better, especially when you are in a cast that is very dynamic as the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It is all embracing. There are different colors of women present, and it's just no longer about the, as Erica said, the white privilege. And that was how the night sort of just went downhill. It just went downhill from here, because the next particular altercation that we saw was between Denise and Erica. But because this particular conversation happened between pockets of audiences, Crystal and Kim trying to, should I say, change the atmosphere, used a lighthearted comic relief, but it didn't land well. And then Crystal wanted a bit of download, to which Denise also was trying to find out what brought this on. Again, it shifted to Crystal and Dorit, because Dorit was upset at the fact that Crystal went out to tell Sutton about the fact that she keeps alcohol in her coffee. Guys, I think it's safe to say that Dorit is in a hot seat, and she is not liking it at all. It's not a good night for Dorit, I'll say, because Crystal was trying to defend or come correct with exactly what was said, which the conversation did happen. We saw snippets of it. I'm not sure why Dorit feels the need to deny or not take responsibility for this particular conversation. It's quite interesting. And again, like I said, after this, Dora, impressed at her antics, decided again to deflect by throwing Denise in the hot fire, by bringing up the conversation that happened between Denise and Erica. She's like, oh, so have you cleared up the controversy between you and Erica? Just again, stirring the pot in a way that just feels wrong, Dorit. It feels wrong at this point, guys. You just needed to watch this particular episode to understand how awkward it was in that particular living room that night. I didn't even want to be the fly in there because, it was a disaster. It was a disaster. All that Dorit for what she was, a pot stirrer. And Denise was like, babe, calm down. Like, you're just too much. Like, you're intense. Bring it down a notch. Bring it down a notch. It's not about you tonight. Don't make it about you. You've carried all the conversation that just not gone down well for you. Bring it down a notch. I love the way Denise talked, by the way. She just has this very unassuming, relaxing, drunk state all the time that whenever she speaks, she's literally slurring her words. It's just good TV. I love to watch Denise, in moments like this because it just makes my day. I think this was where Dorit got the message that, whatever she was saying, it's not landing anywhere in the room. And she said, I'm gonna go check in on my husband. Well, you do that, Dorit. It's time to hightail it out of here. Go, because you've had enough. Or I guess the ladies have had enough of your antics tonight. And she left, literally, and no one missed her. But then, of course, she has dropped a bomb, and the bomb is about to explode between Erica and Denise. Now, this is where it ends for this particular episode. Denise and Erica, head to head and trying to address the elephant in the room. Erica said, I do not want to have this conversation. It's not something I want to talk about. But if you're feeding it, I would, humor you. And I think Erica was like, we hashed it with dinner. It's done. What else do you want from me? And Denise was like, I want an apology. I want this apology. And Erica said, I gave you all the apology you needed. There's no more. Like, I'm done with it. And I think Erica went on to say, you called me so many disparaging name, you abused my character, you questioned my character. And guess what? There's a Chinese whisper from Cal, because Cal decided to feed or relay a conversation that happened between Denise and her as per a comment that Denise made, which was, again, the wrong comment. Chinese whisper always is wrong, gets it wrong, and causes even more chaos because Erica is upset at this particular comment that was never said by Denise. But then guess what? Erica unleashed. Like, we haven't seen this Erica in all through the season. And so when it came out, I was here for it. It just was only 2 minutes longer, but I guess we're going to be opening episode 9 with this particular drama between Denise and Erica. Erica went on to accuse her of, not really accuse, literally mock her for joining OnlyFans and having to charge $7 for a multiple bundle, I think. And also called her out on having a daughter who is on OnlyFans. And guess why? Because Denise aggro is the fact that a conversation was had whilst her kids were close by, and it alluded to, just nudity and all of that. And guess who is now in the hot seat? Denise, you are on OnlyFans. Your 17 or 18-year-old daughter is on OnlyFans. So it's more like art imitating, real life. Because while that scene happened how many years ago, your daughter has gone on to, literally take on OnlyFans and is doing exploit with the app. So you can't actually say or blame Erica for anything that has happened or the trajectory that your daughter or you have chosen. Because, again, she called it. She had the premonition, I guess. She called it. And it's happening real life. I guess Denise didn't really have a comeback for this particular argument, and we're going to continue on with this particular OnlyFans conversation, should I say. It is going to make for a juicy start for the episode to come. Guys, thank you so much. This is a long recap, and that's because I have been in a space that's outside of my natural habitat. So I'm just trying to watch my daughter play as well as give you this commentary. But again, if you watched this far, thank you for staying on, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Stay safe and be focused. Thank you for watching. Bye.